Paying stuff with your smartphone is already awesome. But in this video, I want to show you 4 ideas how it could be improved. So make sure to watch till the end, and I give you one hint: receipts.
Deep, 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 non-profit inventor. It's all about ideas and products. To start with, let's take a look at how mobile payments actually work. And it doesn't matter if you're using Apple or Android or Samsung Pay, the basic mechanics are pretty much the same. It starts by having the point of sales terminal, as you see here, telling you how much you have to pay. Then you authenticate with your device, for example by using your fingerprint or your face, and then you simply hold it onto the terminal. And that's it. It's faster, more secure and more convenient than using your card. That's why it's awesome, and that's why I'm using it for all my purchases wherever I can. But can it be improved? It may not surprise you based on the video title, but I think it can be. It so happens that no matter what you purchase, be it a ticket for the bus or the movie theater or simply some groceries, you always end up with some kind of receipt. They may all look different, but they all are printed out proof that you purchased something. And they all contain the relevant details of your purchase. Now, you may already know where I'm going with this. Imagine yourself paying something with your smartphone. And then, instead of receiving a printout of your receipt, you simply and fully automatically would get a digital version of it, which then would be stored on your device. iOS and Android even already offer support for storing stuff like tickets and boarding passes and so on. It is just not happening automatically during the payment process, and as far as I know, it's very limited on what can be stored in there. So it doesn't seem to support grocery store receipts, for example. So assuming we could come up with a universal format for a receipt so that we could store every kind of receipt, here's a recap of my idea. When you purchase something with your smartphone, really anything, your device fully automatically would receive and store a digital version of the receipt. This would be happening during the payment process in the background, so the user wouldn't even notice it. Now, you might think to yourself, okay, this is a fine idea and it should be technically possible to implement it, but what makes this a good idea actually? What are the advantages? The by far most important argument for me is that this actually could have a hugely positive impact on the environment. According to an article on the Huffington Post website, over 250 million gallons of oil, 10 million trees, and 1 billion gallons of water are consumed each year in the creation of receipts for the United States alone, generating 1.5 billion pounds of waste. This is absolutely crazy, and it's only in the United States. Just think about what this means on a global scale. And now, knowing that, just imagine how many resources we could save year after year just by getting rid of these receipts no one wants to have anyway. And so I'm sure, based on the environmental benefits alone, you probably will agree that this is a great and important idea. But I have more cool ideas I want to share with you, so stay with me. The first one is machine-readable receipts. Now, what do I mean by that? It is basically the other way around. So it means that your device is not only capable of receiving and storing a digital receipt, it is also able to send it out to another device, which then is able to read and process it. To understand the benefits of this idea, let's start by taking a look at how stored tickets in your digital wallet are working today. Right now it works like this. You have a movie ticket or a boarding pass or whatever, and included in that is always some kind of scannable code like a QR code. Then someone with an optical scanner needs to scan that code in order to check you in or check if your ticket is valid or whatever. So it's quite of an active process. And granted, the wallet app does provide you some help finding the right ticket based on your location and time, for example. But in my experience, it doesn't always work very well. So more often than not, I end up actively looking for the ticket I want to use in a situation. And it can be annoying. And now, assuming iOS and Android would actually implement my idea, you can think about situations where the digital wallet simply cannot decide what the right ticket to show you would be. Let's say, for example, you bought a bus ticket and you also have a receipt for some items you bought at a store. And now let's say you're standing at the bus stop that happens to be right in front of the store where you bought the items from. In this case, there wouldn't be a clearly right decision for the wallet app on which receipt or ticket to show you. Here you would have to choose the right receipt or ticket by yourself. In this case, it might not be a big deal, but it's easy to think about situations where you end up having to choose from a whole bunch of different receipts. Now, let me give you a solution to this particular problem. Imagine a point of sales terminal, for example from a store or in a bus, being able to automatically request a specific kind of receipt from your device. The idea would be that when you already paid for something and have a receipt in your digital wallet, that you then could hold your device against the terminal and it would be able to read that receipt. This would mean that you wouldn't have to manually look for your ticket anymore. The terminal simply would request to see if there's a ticket stored on your device, and if there is, it would automatically be sent to the terminal. Let me try to illustrate the coolness of the idea by giving you a scenario. Let's say you want to take the bus, but you don't have a ticket yet. You would then simply hold your device onto the terminal. The terminal, of course, doesn't know if you have a valid ticket or not, so it simply requests to see one from your device. Your device won't be able to show a valid ticket at this point, so the terminal concludes that you need to purchase one. It now initiates the payment process and lets your device purchase a ticket. But then, instead of printing a ticket, it automatically sends it to your device, where it's stored in your wallet. And now you have a ticket. And let's say you step onto the next bus where your ticket is still valid. And then there you again simply hold your device onto the terminal. And you probably can guess what happens next. The terminal again requests to see a valid ticket from your device, but now you have one. So of course there's no need to purchase another one and the terminal simply lets you through. So I hope it becomes clear what I'm trying to explain here. The purchasing of a ticket and you showing that you already purchased a ticket basically becomes the same movement, and so it becomes very convenient. This of course is just one scenario out of a gigantic pool of possibilities. But I hope it helps you to understand why these machine-readable receipts and the automatic transfer of them would be such a great idea. And if you come up with your own scenarios, please write them in the comments down below. Yes, you see correctly, another bonus idea, purchase analysis. And this one is quite easy to understand, so I can make it brief. If all of your receipts are stored in your iCloud or your Android account, it not only becomes possible to evaluate your purchases, but also to help you manage your finances. So you could have an app that tracks pretty much all of your expenses, like how much you spend on food, on clothing, on entertainment, and so on. You can imagine a lot of features with which this app could help you manage your budget. It could even go so far as that the app can actually give you advice on how to manage your finances, like how to save some money, for example. And even much more advanced features would be possible. Think about it. If an app would have knowledge about all the stuff you purchase at the grocery store, because of the receipts, then it basically would have knowledge about what kind of food you eat. It could even go so far that the app would be able to give you advice on your nutritional habits and your health. And I know it sounds kind of intrusive, but it's just one of the possibilities. And also it could help a bunch of people. What? Another one? Yes, the developer interface. This one pretty much feels like a given to me, but I still want to mention it. Assuming all of your purchases would be stored on your device, you can bet that third-party app developers would want to have access to it. For example, I sometimes do my grocery shopping via an app. If this app now would have access to all my grocery shopping items, it would in theory be able to automatically compile a grocery shopping list for me. So with absolute minimal input from me, this app would be able to automatically do my grocery shopping for me. This, of course, is just one possibility. Think about other app categories like health or finance or entertainment or even advertising and so on. I don't want to get into much more detail here. The video already has been long enough, but I hope you get the general idea. and the possibilities and opportunities it would have to third-party app developers.
Yeah. That's it for today. I'm curious to hear your ideas. And you know the rest. If you like the video, make sure to like the video,